I've got to address tonight's breaking news, Greg. Of course, the decision by the appellate court here in D.C. to strike down President Trump's tariff authority, both the reciprocal tariffs on other countries, but also these trafficking tariffs on China, on Mexico, and Canada to stop the flow of fentanyl. This probably will go to the Supreme Court. How do you read today's decision, and what can we hope for as it goes up to the Supremes?
Yeah, Kellyanne, you're right. I mean, Trump will probably appeal to the Supreme Court, but I wouldn't hit the panic button yet. There are other legal authorities under several different trade laws that Trump could invoke or to maintain or reimpose these tariffs, including the Smoot-Hawley Act. So even if he were to appeal and lose in the high court, his tariffs don't necessarily vanish. At issue is here, was Trump right to invoke the emergency powers under a 1977 law? And clearly at the time, Congress did cede significant authority to the president to impose import fees and tariffs. So the question is, was this an emergency under the meaning of the law? And the dissenting judgment said, the judges said, yes, it was an emergency, especially given all the staggering trade deficits and punitive tariffs that damaged our budget and economy. So I do think the president on appeal has a legitimate argument that he exercised his powers lawfully, but it'll ultimately, as you point out, Kellyanne, be up to the Supreme Court.
And just staying with this, the exercise of constitutional authority for the executive on a number of these cases. Greg, I'm curious if you have a take on what the president is doing with Lisa Cook at the Federal Reserve, basically saying it's for a cause. This is the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. The president has very broad authority. There was a hearing today here in Washington, D.C. with Ms. Cook. How do you see that?
To fire people in the executive branch. That has been repeatedly upheld. As for any of the governors on the Federal Reserve, the central bank, under the law, they can be fired for cause. Well, what is that? Cause is gross negligence, gross misconduct, malfeasance. I would say that dishonesty in cheating on mortgage loans to get lower rates, which is essentially, defrauding the government, the IRS. Yeah, that constitutes dishonesty, and the law doesn't say that you have to be convicted first. If the president feels there's compelling evidence of rank dishonesty, he arguably has a duty to remove that individual. So, I wouldn't expect Trump to win at the federal district court level, because we know how that generally goes. But in the higher courts, he's on solid ground, Kellyanne.
Agreed, and we'll all be watching.